morning. It's very sunny out again today. Today is Thursday. Welcome back. We're gonna do another art vlog today. Hear me out though. Maple syrup, mayo, and mustard is literally the best breakfast sandwich combo ever. And I know it sounds weird, but it tastes so good. I found it in a cookbook somewhere, and every time I make a sandwich, I have to put it on there. Because it's just like, oh, it's like that sweet and savory, just perfectness. It goes perfect with eggs. Anyways, yeah. So today I'm gonna do some beading. I have a market coming up in April. Last time I sold quite a bit over there, so like I really need to stock up, especially since there's a bunch of markets this summer as well. Yes, I'm wearing pajamas. And yes, this is my desk. So what? It's comfy. Ugh. So I've been working on these lovely earrings. And I got one pair down, got part of a pair going. Yeah, we're just gonna sit here and do that while I chat with you. It's cool because the sun's kind of like a spotlight on me, like, ooh, dramatic. I use an app to make these patterns. It's called Loomerly. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's pretty fantastic because you can sit here after you've made the pattern and you can check off the ones you've done and stuff. It's pretty sick. I highly recommend. So, I've been making earrings for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years, on and off. I started with kind of big, chunky seed beads from the craft store, and like they looked alright, but I was like, oh, I really want my earrings to look professional, so then I started ordering the Miyuki glass seed beads, and oh my goodness, they're much harder to work with, but they look so much better when they're done. I'm just doing the brick stitch here, the double brick stitch, so I'm putting 2 beads on and kind of sewing them in each time. The single brick stitch is also cool, but it takes a lot longer than doing this double one, so I tend to usually do that. As you can see, it's a very tedious process, but it's very meditative, you see. So yeah, I'm just trying to add the gold moon there, and this is just adding gold. I think the gold's really nice in this earring because it's definitely a contrast to the darker blues and blacks. You can't really tell in this video, but there's like kind of a shiny northern lights thing going on, which I think is pretty fun. I don't know if any of you have been lucky to see the northern lights, but they're like the sickest thing on this entire planet in my opinion. They only happen where I live like once every 3 years I catch them, maybe, if I'm up late enough. That's kind of what inspired this, is the mountains, the moon, and the northern lights. Oops, I dropped it. So yeah, it's just kind of a fun little thing I like to do, and yeah, people really seem to love this design. Like, I've had a couple of my friends buy it, and people at the market. So it's probably one I'll continue to do for a long time. I'm really glad I discovered beading, because it's so meditative. And it's super fun to do. And yeah, sometimes it does get a little frustrating, like I'll get knots in it all the time, but yeah. Anyways, there's the first little piece done, and now we're gonna add the little fringe. Yep, we even got little silver stars in there. So for the fringe, I usually pick up like however many beads are hanging down and make sure I do the pattern correctly, because the mountain is actually in the fringe. So you pick those up and you slide them down, and then you put 3 beads on the end of the needle and kind of sew them in, because the 3 beads are like a little bit of a stopper so that they get tied in, if that makes sense. So I'm just adding the fringe beads now. And the white's a little bit of the mountaintop, like the snowy mountain peak. And now I'm going in with the 3 beads on the end and pulling it in. So yeah, then it's all nice and flush and hangs loosely. I gotta make sure not to do it too tight, because then it won't dangle and it'll just be stiff. So I kind of like pull it out right here a little bit. And I just repeat that process. Yeah, it's tedious, but it ends up looking so cool that it makes it all worth it, and it's meditative. This part's one of the hardest parts of this step, is just trying to get it to not go through the wrong bead and get all of the beads in there. It's really exciting to see my business kind of pop off this year. Like, before this year, the most I'd ever made was like maybe $60 off of one like painting I did. And so it's really exciting this year to see them. Like, I went to my first market and made about $800, and it was the most gratifying experience I've ever had, because I've put so much work into this business for years and years and years, and this year I finally have a business that at least makes enough money to not spend a ton of money on the supplies and regret it, because it is a hobby too, you know, so it's okay to spend money on it and not make a profit. I hope to one day make a profit, but right now I'm definitely not doing that. But I definitely make enough to like support spending too much on art supplies. I don't know, it's just really exciting. I hope my luck continues this year, and I don't know, like I made my first online sales too. Sold like 6 whole stickers on Etsy. Haven't sold any since like that 2 months ago, but it's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, don't go to my Etsy though, go to my website, alpinestudioart.com. Yeah, I really hope this YouTube eventually reaches an audience in general. I mean, my last video had 3 views, but that's okay. It's fun. Maybe one day I'll have like 10, which would be cool. I'd be down with that. Anyways, we're almost done with this earring here. So this process typically takes about 2 to 3 hours for one earring. I know it's sped up in the video, you know, it's like a 15-minute video or whatever, but yeah, it takes a long time, and I'm not going to make you watch all of that, because it would be a long time. Let me know if you want a tutorial though, because I would totally be down for that. Obviously I'd have to get a little better camera point of view, because you can barely see anything, but yeah, there's the finished piece. And yeah. Now I'm just gonna add the earring parts. What are they called? I don't know. Now I'm just gonna add the rest of the earring and the little rubber stoppers and put them in their box, and then they'll be good to go. I love seeing the finished earring. It makes me happy every time. Even though I've made this same design probably like 10 times, it's still like very exciting to have another piece to come together, and to know that one day somebody will love these earrings just as much as I do. You can kind of see the little northern lights shining in the sun there. I'm just putting them on their little hanger. Oh, so pretty. It's so satisfying. Oh, tacos. So I just spent the last like half hour trying to figure out how to reconnect my Canon printer to a different Wi-Fi network, because the entire town's Wi-Fi is out right now, and my grandma has like a Starlink downstairs that I connected to, and I just could not for the life of me figure it out because my printer does not have a display screen because it's an old one and a cheap one. And yeah, anyways, I finally figured that out so I could print out these little things to kind of say like I have a new website, because my business cards do not have the new website on them. They just have my Etsy, and I don't want people to use my Etsy because then I'll have to pay more money. You see, I'll have this, and then I'll like cut out this little thing to add maybe on top of it or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna eat some tacos and then cut all those out. Yeah. So good. So yeah, now we're just gonna cut all these out. Now I just gotta round the corners of every single one and then do it all again. Got the cards done. However, that wasn't the best idea I've ever had. I should probably like use the table, but I didn't feel like cleaning it off. That's all I have for you today. You have a great day, and I'll see you next week.